Hi everyone, it's Nishti here and welcome to yet another episode as part of the Conscious Parenting series. And as you can see on YouTube, we've got quite a few series coming up to do with conscious parenting and mindfulness. And today I've got a very special guest. Her name is Arayeh Nourouzi and she's just about to finish a Ph.D. in mindfulness. And she's going to share with us some top tips on how to stay mindful around the dinner table as a parent with tiny children. So welcome, Arayeh. I'm so pleased you agreed to come on the show. We might as well call it the show.
Thank you so much. I feel honored to be here. Thank you. You're doing wonderful work.
Thank you so much. Your message, I think, is really going to help parents out there because I have so many parents who struggle around meal times. There's always a lot of tension and a lot of stress. So today we would love to hear your point of view because I know you are obviously mindfulness and a mindfulness expert and you're just about to share your PhD and I hope you will share some of your research with us as well because I think that even that would really help the audience out there. So you yourself are a parent and your children are now grown up, but I know that you've had a journey with them, and especially you've learned a lot when it comes to food. So I would love for you to share that with us, if that's okay.
Of course. My children are 9 and 12 right now. My daughter just turned 12, and my journey really started with my daughter and mainly her food journey, actually, because they're both picky eaters, but my daughter especially, she's super picky. So, and because of my health journey in the past year, I've been even more triggered with that because, as you can see, our society just promotes a lot of unhealthy food, fast food and all those things. And she sees all her friends indulging in those. And it's just, for me, it's just so hard. I feel like I'm swimming against the current. But what I found out with my struggle with her, I found out that I am expecting her to do stuff to make better choices while I am not making better choices. So this is actually the base of kind of one of the pillars of conscious parenting. When we tell our kids something, really we are telling it to ourselves. This is absolutely true in most cases in my experience and in my clients' experiences. So I started thinking, I thought, okay, I don't think I'm eating well. I don't think I'm eating consciously. I do a lot of emotional eating, and it's just, I know what's healthy, what's not healthy, but I still indulge in those unhealthy food habits, right? So, and then it was very interesting. It was kind of a turn when I discovered that I felt really less frustrated and less baffled with this, like, why can't you change? So I put the spotlight within. I said, okay, let me change first. Let me be okay with my choices. And it's still a journey. I've been on it for the past year. It's really a journey for me because I have so much stress with my PhD and you're self-employed and all those things. I feel myself, I'm so weak sometimes. And that actually is a very good innuendo. It's like a light bulb. Hey, so she's doing the same thing. Don't be too hard on herself, on her, you know? So what happens is this, I don't, it's not like I say, okay, fine, go eat anything you want, but I don't get triggered. Because when we get triggered, the power struggle arises, right?
So when you say triggered, because just for someone that's new out there and that may be new to conscious parenting, or we could also call it mindful parenting, what do you mean by you being triggered exactly?
Okay. So when something happens with our kids or anyone for that matter, and when we feel really yucky or feel triggered or feel angry and we are just confused, we want to react from a fight or flight system, that is a sign that is something, there's a wound within us. There's something within us that needs to be kind of corrected and healed before we attend to other people. So, what happens is that when we get triggered, our Dr. Dan Siegel has this brain model that this is our ego mechanism and this is our smart brain. When we get triggered, we flip the lid and we actually cannot think with our smart brain because our ego mechanism, our fight or flight, is actually running the show. So when we get triggered, we cannot make conscious decisions. We cannot go the route of compassion and understanding and empathy and problem solving and all those things. We just put the lid, you want to make things happen, and we just fight or flight.
Now, we can all relate to that, whether we have children or not.
Exactly. Exactly.
The essence of mindfulness is being able to not react, isn't it? That's the whole point of this journey, is whatever sort of causes that feeling inside. Look, instead of blaming something on the outside, it's looking within and go, what is it that needs to be healed? What is it about me that may cause this situation, right?
Or make it worse.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's actually, as you said, it's about the healing. It's about the feeling our anger. Give us space. Like the maximum duration of each emotion, so research shows it's 90 seconds. At least give 90 seconds. Just sit with your emotions, feel those emotions, and let it dissipate. Rumi says the cure for pain is in the pain, which means we have to attend to the pain so it dissipates, so we don't act upon the pain. Make sense? So we feel the pain, we don't act upon the pain. So when we take a break, at least like 10 minutes, as I said, 90 seconds is the duration of each emotion, but that's kind of hard for regular people, because if you haven't done it before, because you have to just sit and really feel the core energy of the emotion, which is really tough. Our ego doesn't like us to feel bad. So it takes courage to sit and say, okay, I'm going to feel, okay, first of all, what am I feeling? Because we are not sure what we feel. I feel disappointed. I feel helpless. Really feel the helplessness. I feel helpless, and you feel it, and it dissipates, and it transforms to the next level and to the next level until it becomes peaceful.
That must be really healthy for example, with your daughter, you being triggered, and then if she watches you pause and deal with and think about what's just happened, that must be really healthy for the child as well, to see how mommy handles her own emotions. Because I see this so often, and I had one client the other day, and I was blown away, because I've never heard anyone say that. Her child eats out of sort of emotional triggers. And I just sat there and listened. I didn't say anything. And she said, but I think she's learned it from me, because I don't know how to handle my own emotions. And I just wanted to hug her, but I couldn't because it's on Skype. But I just like, yes, you got it. You got it. So as a mom, you need to set the example, and you need to deal with your own chaos and not bring it to her chaos.
Exactly. And it's also about self-care. I'm taking care of myself first. So what we do, we have a code here. I just say, I need a breathing time. So I just leave. And I told them before, I say, this is not disrespectful. If I withdraw from talking or engaging, I told them before, I really need breathing time, because I don't want this thing to run the show. So I need breathing time. I just leave. I separate myself. Number one solution I give to my clients is just, if you can, if it's safe, just separate yourself physically from the situation. Physically, because it's so hard sometimes to separate mentally, right? All the time, actually. So it's really important to really remove our bodies, go to the bathroom, go somewhere, go to your meditation cushion and just sit, just come back to your center. So we have to physically separate ourselves from the situation and not put ourselves in fire, at least until we are a little bit, pro at it. I'm still not pro. I just leave. Physically leave. Go around the block, go to your meditation cushion, go to the bathroom, do something, just physically separate yourself so you can actually come back to your smart brain, so you can actually see what's going on, have a conversation, find a solution.
So let's imagine a family of 4, and both the kids, let's say there's a 3-year-old gap between them, and both of them are playing up, and mom gets triggered, and so would that be a solution then to what would be the solution? What sort of options would she have?
Okay, it depends on the person, as I said. It depends on the spiritual growth and the maybe a little bit of wiring in the head. For example, I myself, I'm in this journey. I was an engineer up until 5 years ago, but I switched to complete, the opposite, like, psychology, conscious parenting, because I got triggered. So my problem was reactivity, because my dad has reactivity problem. It's kind of like not only genetic, but I learned it from him. So it depends on the person. Some people are more composed than the other people. They can take it better. I can't. And a lot of people are like me too. So it depends on the situation. And there is no one solution for every situation. What I teach is this: if we know all these things, if we understand whatever we think or we say, where does it come from? And does it come from fear, or does it come from love? And if we can do that, if we can understand where it comes from, then we can actually choose, right? So we can choose what route to take. Of course, route of fear is not so pleasant, right? Because it's just destructive.
So you must finish your meal. That might be coming out of fear.
Yeah, exactly.
Because our mothers told us that if we don't finish our meal, we won't get dessert, so we're scared.
Yes, exactly. Or you won't grow up, for example. Because I was brought up this way. Oh, drink your milk, you're not going to grow tall. I'm like, okay, whatever. Who, So I said the same exact things to my kids, because it was exactly the same fear that, it was a generational fear of, probably, like, I don't know. I'm afraid of being short. I am short, fine, who cares? Well, it's mostly genetic. But because of that fear, I really ruined the relationship, not only the food relationship, but everything, like with my daughter. And I really had to rebuild this relationship with conscious parenting. So it was a really messy situation with my daughter, because I was always ordering and asking and having this fear, which is not really helpful for anyone.
How old is your daughter now then?
Just 12. She just turned 12.
Turned 12. And how are her eating? How have things changed since you've become aware that, that she triggered you, and this was really about you and not her? How have things changed since then?
It has changed a lot. It's still a journey. But I come to more understanding, accept. For example, before I put lunchbox for her, like I would put everything in her lunchbox, and she wouldn't eat. And I went to a field trip, and I saw that she was giving the food away. So I thought, you know what? I think you're mature enough now. You can make your own lunchbox. So I just allocated the task to her. And even my son is doing that. He's 9 and he's making his own lunchbox. So what I have. The number one thing is to not have the stuff that you don't want them to eat in the house. So even if I have packaged food or snacks, I have them, for example, organic. So I don't have any, chips or anything in the house. Even if I have chips, I have organic. Like, I go towards more healthy food. So and I'm okay if they eat. At least they eat. So it's just, I found out that it's just impossible. I took this parenting course. I've taken so many parenting courses and read so many conferences. One of them, she just did it for me. She said 3 things we cannot control with the kids: pee and poop, food, and sleep. We cannot force them to do these 3 things, because if, like, they might get scared. First of all, it's impossible to do it, and if they do it, it becomes a future problem for the adult that they have to go therapy for. So we just have to release our control, especially about these 3 things.
Because those 3 things, sorry, I said that's incredible what you've just said, because those 3 things is what I personally see is what causing the most stress for parents, is the sleep and I get lots of pictures of poo. Are the poos okay? And have they not pooed enough, or have they pooed too much?
Yeah.
And what are their food like? Those 3 things. And you're saying, actually, those are the 3 things we can't control. And that is so true.
Yes. I mean, you just have to release the control. For example, even for sleep, I wanted to control their sleep. And I got so bothered when they didn't fall asleep, because I snuggle with them at night. I got so bothered that she wouldn't sleep. She was maybe like 5 or 6. And I got really bothered. And I'm like, I have things to do. Why don't you go to sleep? You know, it's like you're forcing them. They can't go to sleep. Like, they're not like robots. They don't have a switch on and off switch. So I learned that I accepted, and I just created another scenario. So you have to become creative. So what I did, I said, okay, I snuggle with each of you 10 minutes, and then I bring my computer in the middle and I do my work. And I'm still there, and they still have me. You know what I mean? And then right now that they're bigger, I still snuggle. Actually, and this is one of the best practices I give my clients. Please snuggle with your kids up to 10 minutes with each one. Tell them there is an order so they don't get bothered or who's first. But that's the most precious time, because all the ego wall is down and it's just dark, and they might start talking a little bit, and you just kiss them and whisper into their ears, they're lovely, you're awesome, I love you. Hug them, scratch their back. That's the most precious time, because I highly recommend 10 minutes one-on-one with every kid during the day. But this is not that 10 minutes. This is extra. So like 5 to 10 minutes with each kid. And then right now, I don't wait until they fall asleep. Like before, it was my mistake. I wanted them to fall asleep, you know? It was like, I thought, okay, they have to fall asleep, or, you know, I have this really yucky energy around it. But right now they know, okay, I snuggle with you, then I go to the other one, and then bye-bye, because they're bigger.
Wonderful. And you don't have, because snuggling doesn't, it's just your being. You're not like reading a book, or
no,
you're not doing anything, you're just being. So as we say in Danish, you're hygge. You're just hygge. So you're just being cozy together.
Yes.
That's mindfulness right there. You're just together.
It's funny because those are the time, because my vibration is so high, like I'm like in heaven at that time. I don't want anything really. Yeah. So that's the time that I get creative ideas for business and all those things. It's really funny because I know, I'm like, let me not forget that, because my vibration is so high. Because you know, and then I become creative.
Incredible.
Anyways, yeah.
Well, it's so lovely to hear how, you know, because it takes courage, doesn't it, Arayeh, to go, right, my child is really causing a lot of stress in me for how she's eating or not eating, and maybe I should look at myself. And that's exactly what you did by being on this conscious parenting journey. And obviously you're a conscious parenting coach yourself, aren't you? And you provide help and support to clients. And and also, I know you're about to finish your project, your Ph.D. And is there anything in there that could maybe help any parents out there? Because although we're talking about the dinner table, it is really, it can apply to any situation. So the sleep, as you just mentioned, and but so sort of bringing mindfulness into the home.
Okay.
What have you got? What does your project? Or are we allowed to hear the final?
Of course, yes. Yeah. First of all, I want to get back to your question. So when you said like 2 kids, they don't eat, and you get triggered, and what would you do? Again, when I brought it up, like it depends on the person. Like I know myself that I have to separate myself if it's escalated, right? Mm-hmm. But another person might be able to just calmly, you know, or along the road, you just come back to the love rather than fear, and then find out what to do. Just be okay, not get triggered so much. When we don't get triggered and when we are aligned, we know what to do in that specific situation. So this is the trick. So that's why I said there is no one solution in every situation. Why? Because we know in our heart at any time what to say and what to do if we are aligned. If we are aligned, which means if we vibrate at, you know, at love and peace and joy, really high vibrations.
I hope so for the audience sake, being aligned and vibration and high vibration, can we put that into a more sort of simple?
Yes, let me just okay, this is a scale of consciousness. So if people Google scale of consciousness, these are emotions here, and the bottom one is shame. I don't know if you see it, but it has a 20. So then it's guilt and apathy and grief. It goes up until love. So love, joy, peace, and alignment are higher. High frequency, right? And because of law of attraction, first of all, we attract the same vibrations. So if we vibrate on shame, I'm a bad mom, my kid doesn't eat well, I'm such a ineffective mom. We feel shameful, right? At those times. Guess why we are attracting more struggle, more yuckiness. But if you just align and say, okay, this is the situation. First of all, I am going to accept the as is of the situation. Then get out of that fight or flight system, and we can increase. And then this is alignment. So we go higher, we go to love, we go to peace, rather than just resenting the as is. Yes, resenting the as is and all those things. So this is a scale of consciousness, it's called. People can, your audience can Google it.
I love that scale, because it just brings everything into perspective, because most of us live in that I'm not good enough, I feel shame, I feel guilty. And especially, I think mothers are very prone to that. Not that anyone taught us how to be a parent. It's something that we are magically supposed to know. So it's a very hard journey. And I think all those limiting beliefs just put people down and puts the frequency down. But you're saying, and then we parent from fear, don't we?
Exactly.
So the dinner table is fear, sleep is fear, everything's fear. But then as we increase our vibration by examining our thoughts and just knowing why we're saying what we're saying and why we are fearful for whatever our children are doing or not doing, we can bring our vibration higher, right?
Yes. What we say is we have but two emotions, one love, one fear. Fear is actually false. So I always tell my clients, I give you permission to put the fear in the garbage can. Just visualize it, put it in the garbage can, because it doesn't do anything. This fear really doesn't do anything. It's just, waste of energy. It truly is, right?
It messes up our lives.
Yes. So now my research, we have around 50,000 thoughts a day. That's average, right?
Wow.
And most of these thoughts are really fear-based. Rumi calls it fear thinking. Well, he wasn't English, but the translation is fear thinking. So that is why this mindfulness phenomenon is so important, because first of all, we don't know we're thinking. And second of all, we don't know all these thoughts are actually coming from fear and worry. And it's very ego-based, right? It's like a defense mechanism. And the reason thoughts are important, because every thought creates a feeling, and a feeling creates a behavior. So the whole thing starts in thoughts. So that's why it's important when we do the mindfulness meditation, we become aware of these thoughts, and maybe we can neutralize them or redirect them. Make sense? So my research is doing mindful breathing for 1 minute, at least 3 times a day throughout the day. Because most of my clients, they say, 10 minutes. Like, I push them to sit at least for 10 minutes, and they say, we don't have time. I said, okay, 1 minute you can do. So that was the incentive behind my research. At least take like 1 minute. Right now I have like hourly reminders on my phone. I don't take them all, but at least it brings me to the moment. And for your audience, I'm sure mindful breathing is super simple. You just close your eyes, or you don't close your eyes. It doesn't matter. You just direct your attention to your breath under your nose or on your chest. Thought comes, let go back to breath. It's like clouds passing by and you're the sky. That's it. Or the wagons on a train, the train passes, don't jump on the train. Bye-bye. As soon as you become aware, detach, go back to breath. That's it. So you do this for 1 minute, 3 times a day at least. Your brain will learn how to first become aware of these thoughts that we have constantly, we have them. And second, we can just detach. Guess what? When we are at the dinner table and I'm like, okay, why am I getting triggered? Let's find the source. What thought do I have? Am I afraid they don't grow? Am I afraid they stay short? Am I afraid they become unhealthy? That's a thought, right? So you say, I'm thinking that. Detach like a cloud, let it pass, come back to breath. And this will bring you back to that alignment that we talked. And then we can say, okay, you're not hungry, honey? We have one more, for example, I don't know, whatever you teach, but we have one more good choice. You can either have this or you can have it in an hour, something like that. Give 2 choices. Give 2 choices at least, because they feel the most problem with the kids is that we just bark ordered and they feel their autonomy is violated. So we just give choices, so it becomes everything becomes effortless, right? Rather than just power struggle. So another tool that you can use at dinner table to stop. So you just stop whatever you want to do. You take a breath again. You become aware of your thoughts, and you observe. Okay, you figure out what's going on. What am I going to say now? And then you proceed with love, which is nothing but giving choices and, you know, having compassion and making solutions together, and not come from the place of dictatorship and, you know, authority, you know, which is the base of conscious parenting. You want to see it again?
I just love that. So we're at the dinner table, havoc is happening. We stop, we take a breath, we observe our thoughts, which might be, by the way, most of the time they're going to not meet their nutritional requirements, and therefore they're not going to be healthy, and therefore they're not going to grow properly, and it just it just spirals down for parents, I think, and it's catching their initial thought. They're not going to meet their requirements, and then we go, no one meets their requirements every day, all year round.
Yes.
Yes, and then
exactly, you have an anti-fear thought. Yes. Also, there is a psychologist. He said something really beautiful when I was in this parenting journey. He said, eating is a physical phenomenon. Don't make it psychological. What we do with food is we really make it psychological. We make a power struggle out of it. We make you have to eat, and, it's so much here. But it's just a physical thing. We offer, and I think Dr. Shafali created a really beautiful video about this, that we have to be creative. It's a lot of work from us. Like, I know most of the problem that is still remaining in food department in our house is my fault, because I don't spend time to be creative and make delicious, scrumptious food for them, So we have some Persian food and they don't like it. I don't like Persian food. And I don't invest time and energy in it. So it's my fault, really. Not fault, but it's my doing. So all these come from, I'm not saying like we should let go and let kids eat anything, but when we release all these fear thinking, then we can educate ourselves to do what to do. Okay, let's just make an amazing dinner today together, for example. Let's do it together.
Make a choice that's from abundance and not from lack, right, Arayeh?
Yes, exactly.
We've released the control. We've taken that conscious breath and observed what the limiting belief is. Then we can make a conscious choice, not one that's fear-based, which often would be things like, here's a pudding, here's chocolate, because at least my child has eaten, so now everything's good. That's really a choice made from fear. And actually, the choice is not even good, because you're just trying to fill in the gap with something, but it's not quality.
Yes.
So, because I see that so often. Yes. This is really helpful. Really.
I want to mention something in my household, how it got better when you asked me. So I stuffed the fridge with the stuff that my kids might like. So they just go make it themselves. If they don't like the food, I say, okay, you can make yourself something healthy. And I have nothing unhealthy.
Brilliant.
So I don't believe, eat food, dessert first. I don't believe in that, because we are putting so much, like we're saying dessert, which is, not healthy dessert, but those, unhealthy dessert, it's a good thing. It's a reward. They're not rewards. I call them poison, really, because they are poison. So I don't have that at all. So I'm just saying, let's get some nutrition in our body. So did you get some nutrition in your body? So I put the responsibility on them.
I bet they love that.
They love it. That's how it has become a little bit less stressful. I'm telling you, because I was like, it's still a struggle, even still a struggle, but because it's so big in my head, all these societal, familial conditioning and shoulds and shouldn't. I don't know, before they said you have to drink milk to grow tall, and now they say it's bad. Like, everything is,
I think the world of nutrition is always changing, and as a dietitian, I'm guilty of a lot of stuff that I now regret saying, but we learn because this whole thing, 3 meals a day, and you need to do it just causes a lot of anxiety in our parents.
exactly.
So it's all about following the child, because intuitively they know so much more than us.
Exactly.
They are
And the
so
less,
abundant.
yes, and the less we dump our conditioning, really our junk on them, the more they know,
So
right?
our conditioning, our limiting thoughts from our
Yes.
parents and society, which goes, you must eat breakfast and you must drink this amount of milk per day, otherwise you will get osteoporosis when you're older. Like all these things, it's all fear. There's
Yes.
so much fear.
Let me give you an example. This, for example, my son doesn't drink a smoothie at all. Like I tried it so much, but he didn't want to take it. So I'm like, okay, forget it. It's, I trust everything's good. I can't force it to, I can't shove it in his mouth. But my daughter does. So, and in the morning I make a smoothie, and she said, okay, let's do it every other day. I said, fine. So this morning I made the smoothie, and she's like, in the beginning, she said, no, I'm not gonna drink smoothie at all. So if it was me before, I would just get really upset. And I thought, okay, you know what? Really in my heart, I thought, okay, maybe she doesn't want to eat it either, drink it either. So I said, you really don't want to drink it? Just tell me, because I'm not going to make it anymore. So I wasn't coming from any negative energy. I was just really clear. I said, if you don't want to drink it, I'm not going to make it, because I don't want to suffer every morning, right? If you want it, I'll make it. And she said, I want it. So she said it, I want it, because she knew that she actually said that word out of fear and, anxiety as well. But when I gave her space, she just came back.
Lovely. That's really powerful. But it takes time to get there, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a journey. Really, it's a journey. There is no one-time solution. It's not a pill. It's a journey.
There's no perfection here.
Yes. Actually, that's one of the bases of mindfulness. John Kabat-Zinn says, every moment of coming back to awareness is a moment for celebration.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, that's the moment we celebrate. Not the constant awareness, because that's not possible. Our brain doesn't work that way. We have 50,000 thoughts a day. So coming back to awareness, that's the moment for celebration. That's it. And any moment we do something faulty, we have to forgive ourselves, not forgive. As Dr. Shefali says, to forgive, it's not a good word. Accept ourselves, whatever happened, and then come back to the center. Just come back.
That is self-love.
Yeah.
That is self-love right there. Yeah. And imagine if parents do that, and then what effect that has on the kids.
Yes.
If my parents did that, that would have really benefited me.
Yes, the whole world would be a better place.
Yeah, it really would. It really would. Thank you, Arayeh.
This
was so lovely. And as much as it's helping you out there, which we really sincerely hope, it's also really helping me. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So how can people find you, Arayeh?
Sure. My website is beloveknow.com, belove.know.com. And my Facebook is the same if you punch in those names. And
details down below. So
yes. And people can make a free 30-minute strategy call with me on my website.
Amazing.
And if I can help them, we can go ahead, but they get free 30 minutes.
If I was you, I would take up that offer, because honestly, I get so much value from you have so much wisdom, and it's so lovely to connect with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, please comment below.